seasons, Jeff Gordon's place was either inside the 24 car
or often enough in victory lane. But now his place is here with us.
Jeff Gordon is now a member of Fox Sports and often enough NASCAR Race Hub.
Tonight, Jeff is here with us. And while we don't want to give him a big head on his first show, we're going to make this one all about him.
NASCAR Race Hub with Jeff Gordon starts right now.
Welcome in to NASCAR Race Hub. So good to have you with us as we get set for the 2016 season with Danielle Trotta. I'm Adam Alexander. We have done a lot of shows in this studio, but today is one we will remember forever.
Oh my goodness. A new addition to Fox Sports FS1 NASCAR Race Hub, the four-time champion turned television professional, the one and only Jeff Gordon joining us today. The show's all about him.
That's right. I think he can handle that, right?
We'll see.
We're going to throw some curveballs at him. It's going to be a fun 60 minutes. We're glad you're here.
Interesting to see Jeff transition from the race car to television, no doubt, following a popular trend, Adam. From the football field to shortstop, over the past decade, we've seen some of the greatest all-time in professional sports call it quits, many on their own terms, but not every legend scripted the storybook ending that Jeff Gordon did. Here's Joe Buck.
Every sport has its all-time greats. Those who put up unparalleled stats on the field, the court, or the track. But there is another level that separates the greats from the legends. A legend transcends the lines of competition to make an impact on their sport beyond wins and losses, beyond championships. But even legends can't fight Father Time. Every career must end. And very few get to ride off in a fashion that lives up to their own lofty accomplishments. At this moment, we are witnessing the end for some of the best ever. Derek Jeter, Kobe Bryant, Peyton Manning, and Tiger Woods have all struggled with the effects of time. Jeff Gordon, on the other hand, is a guy that found a way not to fight Father Time, but at least beat him to the checkered flag. For 23 years, Jeff Gordon was more than a champion. He was that transcendent face of his sport. And in his farewell season, he didn't fade into the background. He commanded center stage.
That was huge. Fighting and digging, boys. That's what we do.
And no, he didn't go out as a champion. He went out as something bigger, as his sport's ultimate legend.
And now we welcome in the four-time champion and the newest member of the NASCAR on Fox family, Jeff Gordon. Jeff, we're happy to have you along.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this time of the year. It's been a great off season, but I can't wait to get down to Daytona. It's great to kind of kick off the season here on Race Hub with you guys. Proud to be a part of the Fox team.
Some interesting words there from Joe Buck when you start to put in perspective athletes who reach the end of their career and that decision to retire. 2015, though, was so great for you. How would you describe your final year in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series?
One of the most incredible experiences of my entire career. To be able to go out like that, to be able to, and you can't script it. You know, you can only go into it and put everything that you possibly can into it. There's certain things out of your control, but to go through the season, which there were struggles, it wasn't exactly the way I wanted to go out for most of the season, but then for the chase and the way that things came down to Homestead, to battle for the championship, to have some great experiences with my fans, my family, my team. And then, of course, the banquet in Las Vegas. It really was one of the most memorable times, and I'll look back on it and always cherish it very much.
Speaking of the banquet in Las Vegas, kudos to Corey Pisacco and everyone at NASCAR who pulled off, I think, the best surprise of 2015. Jeff's final introduction as a Sprint Cup driver, your final speech as a driver, and who introduces him? Your good friend, Tom Cruise.
You know, I already knew it was going to be an emotional night for me. You know, that really was sort of the final thing for me to do as a race car driver, be on that stage. I was really proud to be on the stage, but I kind of knew this is a moment for me to reflect and talk about, you know, what this career has meant to me. You know, there's just certain things that you can plan for, and I'm a planner. I like to plan, and I didn't know that was coming. That was a total surprise, and it shocked me a bit. And the whole night sort of just overwhelmed me, really. And you know, I enjoyed it very much, but at the same time, it was very emotional.
That's when we really saw you. I don't want to say fall apart, but the tears were certainly flowing, and we could just see you, almost your shoulders. I mean, you were everything in your body. You released maybe a lot of emotion that had been pent up. I mean, you let it all out.
It had been, and I never know. I think everybody sort of, those emotions come out at different times, and some expected, some not expected. I knew it was going to come. I just didn't know when. I didn't know if it was Homestead, if it was leading into Homestead, if it was at the banquet or Christmas Day. I didn't know, but certainly that moment really started to all unfold and just come crashing in, and it was amazing, though. It was emotions of great joy.
There were two things that stood out to me about 2015. One, your ability to give back to the fans and the tracks, and then how they gave back to you, and all the gifts and the different ways the tracks honored you in your final stop at each particular venue. But what takes the cake are the ponies you got at Texas. How are the ponies doing?
The ponies are doing amazing. You know, while I was not real thrilled with Eddie Gossage and Bruton Smith at the time, I must say they have been the greatest gift. The kids absolutely love them. We found a home for them here in North Carolina, where we can go and you know, spend time with them. We go on walks, we go on rides. Then the kids are just enjoying it, and now Mom and Dad are enjoying it as well. I was trying to grasp, how are we going to get ponies from Texas to North Carolina? But
yeah, the logistics.
But it's been fantastic.
And then there's the naming. Did the kids name them? What are is it Pom Pom?
Well, my favorite, my son's favorite snack is Nutella. So you've got Nutella, and then I think my daughter wanted to name, and maybe it's changed since, but she wanted to name it Princess, but it was a boy, so it became Prince.
Okay.
But I think she's even changed it since then.
I'm wondering if Eddie Gossage gave you 2 ponies for your children in your retirement ceremony, is he going to give Tony Stewart a horse in 2016?
Well, he already has a pig, so we know he doesn't need that.
I think, yeah, with Tony's passion and love for animals, who knows? Get ready, Tony. You don't know what's going to happen. But I can tell you that I would like to give what I would like to give Eddie. An elephant,
a big old pile
maybe a rhinoceros.
You're going to have a ceremony when we're there in April. You can give something back to Eddie.
We know Tony Stewart probably spent some of this offseason racing, a passion he certainly has. Jeff, what was the offseason like for you?
It was incredible. You know, it was so much more relaxed than any other offseason I've ever had, because I just was able to completely unwind, spend time with the family. Of course, we went out of the country, went to Australia, which was such a blast. It's such a great country, great people. My kids love being outdoors. They love animals, and of course, Australia has some amazing animals. And then, of course, being in Sydney for New Year's and that backdrop and those fireworks is just an incredible experience. And I got a little racing in.
Did you?
Went and saw Casey Kane and Brad Sweet racing sprint cars at a track I actually raced at when I was in high school.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very, very cool to watch.
Was Marcus Ambrose there?
Marcus was not there. I would love to have seen him, but there were a lot of very passionate racers, Australian racers, and fans.
They love NASCAR, too.
Sprint car and just auto racing in general. It's big over there.
I hope you did a lot of relaxing, because your season is getting ready to get really busy over here with us at NASCAR on Fox. And when this special edition of The Hub continues, we're using the R word. That would be retirement. Jeff, not the first legend to walk away. How did others handle it? Next, we hear from Hall of Famers after they decided to hang up their helmet.
Today, the 57th running of the Daytona 500. And for Jeff Gordon, today is a great start to his finish.
The 24 car, Jeff Gordon, it's his last race here.
Jeff Gordon making his final race at his home track.
Jeff Gordon's final full-time season. For Jeff Gordon, this has to be emotional.
There's been 93 wins for Jeff Gordon, but maybe none sweeter than this one.
It's the final rodeo, the last race for Jeff Gordon.
It was a joke. I'm coming back next year.
Jeff Gordon gave it all he had in his final race, competing for the championship last November. This February will be unlike any other in Jeff's adult life, preparing for Daytona as a TV analyst and not a driver. A new normal is what 2016 will bring, and it's a path other legends know all too well. So we asked some of the greats what life is really like after you hang up the helmet.
As difficult as it was to say, this is the time, I accepted that fact, but then once you're out of there and realize that you're not doing that anymore, there's a big void left in you because where do you channel that energy that you put forth to that? So it was difficult. I found myself at times, I mean, literally being up all night thinking about it. Do I need to make the decision? Do I need to change this? Have I made a big mistake here?
It was a real tough thing to get out of that car. 2005, there were only 2 people saying I needed to retire. And 2 of the people that I respect more than anything in my life, and that was my wife, Patty, and Roger Penske. Everybody wanted me to stay, but Patty and Roger said, you've done enough.
Once the performance in there, you can only tolerate that so long. I'm a perfectionist. I was used to winning. I never thought there'd be a day when I couldn't win a race. But it became very obvious to me last 2 or 3 years that I drove, I don't have a prayer of a chance to win a race. And people start making fun of you almost because of the way you're running or what you're doing. You know it's time.
I was ready to retire. I was looking forward to it. The handwriting was on the wall for me. I knew that the good rides, the good handful of cars that could go out and you could win races with, those weren't coming around anymore. And I didn't want to be a part of it if I couldn't be competitive. And that helped make my decision.
When I was 5 years old, I wanted to be a race car driver. When I was 45, I was a race car driver. There was a time in my life that I believed the only thing that mattered was the Sunday result. And it's not true. The things I've missed doing with my kids, I'm trying to make up for.
I did not want to be one of these drivers that just ran crappy all year long, and that's how you ended the year. That didn't happen to me. I went out the way I wanted to, on top of my game. But I still missed driving those cars, and I still miss them today. But I'm content with my life right now. But I'll tell you, it took a long damn time to get there. It really did.
So that transition, the first few months that you're not doing that, it hurts your heart. You still standing there saying, I could kick their ass every week. Those guys, if I was out there, if I was driving that 25, if I was driving that 48, if I was driving that car, if I was in that car, I'd show them boys something. I'm not sure I could, but at least you think you can.
So what about it? We put Darrell in that 48 or that 24. He can go out and win, right? I mean, no doubt about it, huh? You still
sure, absolutely. Absolutely, DW. I believe in you.
So how do you know when it's time? And did you reach out and talk to anyone to get some advice to make sure that you were doing the right thing?
I mean, I think, you know, I've been a part of the sport long enough to experience others and see that decline in the performance. I mean, I was there when DW, you know, went through his down years at the end and then retirement. I love, you know, seeing the praise and respect that somebody like you know, DW with the past championships and also with DJ, with Rusty, with Mark. I mean, you know, it's cool to watch them, you know, be recognized. But at the same time, I saw them, you know, not all of them, but some like DW really struggle. And I said, you know, I hope that I'm in a position one day to walk away from the sport on my own terms, where I can still be competitive to the final race or, you know, the final season. But you're sitting there trying to contemplate what day that may be, when that might come. Do I make it at the right time, the decision at the right time? And luckily for me, I think it worked out.
Thank you to Dale Jarrett, Rusty Wallace, and DW for those candid words. I don't think we as fans understand sometimes the inner turmoil that a driver goes through in making this transition, but it's not just the driver that feels this process. Certainly your family is alongside you going through it as well. Last year on the Hub, Jeff, you shared with us that your daughter Ella, she likes the spotlight a little bit. She likes that Daddy is popular at the racetrack on Sundays. How do you think the kids will kind of handle this whole transition?
Yeah, I think, now they're adjusting, understanding that I'm going to, be a part of the sport in a big way, and I'm not stepping away from it altogether, and that they might see me on TV every once in a while, certainly hear my voice on there. I think that at first for my daughter, because she's been going to the racetrack ever since she was born and she's now 8, I think it was definitely probably hardest on her, but now she's done a little bit of racing herself, and we've talked to her about the transition and the expectations, and I think she's getting pretty comfortable.
Here's
with it
my
now.
favorite picture of Ella. There are so many great family photos. Her hiding behind the championship 4 at Homestead. No one knew your daughter was behind that stage. It was just precious.
We walked out there together. It was obviously a very special moment for us as a family, and she really liked going across that stage with me. And so when we came down, I realized nobody else had their children with them, and I said, Ella, go get behind there and hide it. So she did a great job.
She did.
She's a great listener, and it's one of my favorite pictures.
We got to frame that for you if you don't have it in the house already. That's great.
Yeah, that kind of put it all in perspective when it came to Homestead, and kind of a perfect ending with you and the family down there. That was really neat.
Yeah, that snapshot is one of our favorites. They say a picture speaks 1,000 words. After the break, we take Jeff on a stroll down memory lane, looking back at the biggest moments in his career. We want him to pick some of his all-time favorites. Stay tuned. A special edition of Jeff Gordon rolling up.
On this Memorial Weekend, winner of the inaugural Brickyard 400. The championship goes to Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon's going to rewrite the record book.
A lot for the Hall of Fame. Gets win number 93 on his career. Jeff Gordon has lived his dream, and he took us along for that ride.
We are back on this special edition of NASCAR Race Hub on FS1. Good to have you along for the ride. Today's program, all about the newest member of the team. That would be Jeff Gordon. And I'm glad you went with the full suit, because sometimes we get rid of that desk, and you got to have on the full suit, so you came prepared.
I'm kind of a full suit guy. I'm not always a tie guy, but if I'm going to wear the jacket, I'm pretty much full suit.
The one time we've had your good friend Jimmy Johnson in, he wore shorts and flip-flops, and it didn't end well for him, so don't follow JJ's.
And his tan said, don't wear shorts on the air. Anyway, that's a story for another time. We have put 9 photos on the board. Some great moments throughout your career, and we want you to pick a few and talk about them. When you look at these 9 moments, where do you go first, Jim?
I mean, these are all great moments, and I've had some huge highlights and moments in my career, so it's hard to really pick, but I guess, the first one that stands out to me is number 2 there, my very first Cup win. I mean, that was a huge moment for a young guy new to the sport, who wanted to make his mark, who was questioning, am I capable of being at this level, competing at this level? Do I belong here? Do I have the abilities, talent, or the team? And that day pretty much solidified it for me.
One of my favorite post-race interviews Jeff Gordon ever did, they stuck the mic in your race car post-race, and in full of tears, you said, I love Charlotte, and Charlotte loves me.
Well, so many big moments happened for me at Charlotte. It's the first time I drove a stock car, not in competition, but just in a test, was at Charlotte. Won my first race there, but I won I won 2 Busch Grand National races there that really sort of elevated my career as well.
From your first win, how about the first championship? 1995, that's number 4 on our board.
Well, and I think that's also a great one to point out. Very significant moment. That year was just huge for me, huge for the sport. To go battle it out with Dale Earnhardt Sr. for a championship, to get Rick Hendrick his first championship, myself my first championship, and just what that whole experience was like, and sort of, we talk about that first win in '94. From that to the championship, and how that really elevated and set my career off to the next level. '95 was huge.
For years, the marquee win in your career was '94, the inaugural Brickyard. And that kind of changed last year, I think, because when you won in 2014, not only was it your 5th, but you had the family there to kiss the bricks with you. And that's number 8 on our board.
Yeah, and, you know, the Brickyard's been so meaningful, so special to me over the years. From that very first one, I just wanted to race there so bad as a kid. Got that opportunity, won that race. And that feeling of what it was like with the fans that day was overwhelming and unbelievable. My life changed forever. But when I went to 14 and won it in 14, to have Ingrid and the kids there, to do it with Alan Gustafson and this team that I transitioned to do the 5th Brickyard 400, and 20 years later, that may have even topped that 1994 Brickyard.
And we were all hoping there would be one more win in the tank.
I know I was.
In 2015, and it was Martinsville.
Yeah, Martinsville. Oh my gosh, that win. I don't know if I can really truly put into words what that win meant to me personally, professionally. And you saw that excitement and emotion was completely raw because we had to have a win, I felt like, at Martinsville, you know, to not only finish the season off with a win, but to get to Homestead. Those next couple races were going to be tough for us. And to seize that moment and to feel what it was like to know you're going to Homestead in your final season, your final race. Again, the kids coming up and the excitement of Ingrid and the kids and the whole team, unbelievable. Probably one of the coolest fan experiences that I've ever had in my career. And to do that in your final win in such a significant win was a moment that can really, I don't think I can describe.
I wouldn't want to overstate it, but I would say it's one of the great moments in NASCAR history. The way the fans gathered around, it was like a pep rally celebrating not only your victory, but the fact that you had qualified to run for the championship. It was truly special.
It was incredible. The energy, excitement coming from them. I mean, it was in me for the next 3 weeks.
A walk down memory lane, a little Hollywood Squares, if you will. Thanks for
Thank you guys.
reliving all the highlights for us, Jeff.
And somehow we pared it down to 9. I'm not sure how we pulled that off. After a break on the Hub, we get Jeff together with his new teammates, the men that will call the action on Fox this season, together on air for the first time. Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds, and Darrell Waltrip joining Jeff to preview 2016. That's next.
Do they?
You got it! You got it! You got it! Michael Waltrip wins. Here they go! Gordon got loose. It's Harvick! Harvick! Jeff Gordon ties Dale Earnhardt. Oh, he's out! He's got the lap, and Judy is out again! 3/4 of a lap, you're out! Boogity, boogity, boogity! Hey, we'll see you boys in Daytona in February!
We are counting down the days, DW. Welcome back to NASCAR Race Hub. One of the longest play-by-play trios in all of American sports is home to NASCAR on Fox. Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds, and Darrell Waltrip have been calling races together since 2001, and Jeff Gordon is being added to the impressive lineup this season. So, for your first look, let's welcome in the boys. This is a NASCAR Race Hub exclusive. For the first time, you're seeing the entire cast together. DW joining us from his home in Tennessee. Mike, as NASCAR likes to say, you boys have at it. I'll let you get to it.
Thanks, Danielle. We've been having a little fun here, just comparing and contrasting, because, as you say, for 15 years, the three of us have been cellmates, Larry, Darrell, and I. And, of course, Darrell joins us from Nashville. And, gosh, it's been a lot of fun, and it's going to be more fun. And I really like, Jeff, that you've showed up here just as Darrell usually walks in with nothing but your hard card and a smile.
That's all I have to offer right now. But after hearing that clip, I mean, the excitement you guys are having up there in the booth, I've been missing out on all this fun. I mean, yeah, it's intense and pretty exciting from inside the car, but I'm looking forward to being a part of the Fox team and having some fun from that perspective.
Well, let's get a little insight, Darrell. The first time that you were in the Fox booth for a practice session, after never really having seen the sport from that 30,000-foot level.
Yeah, well, it really is an eye opener, and Jeff's he's gonna see the same things I saw. When you're down there in the middle of the war, you don't see a lot of things. It's the blind obvious. You have to kind of pull back, and from where we always are pulled back, looking down at what's going on, and you're going to find out, Jeff, that you did some things in that race car that you say that guy's got to be crazy. You see the cars. The racing will scare you to death. When we get to Daytona and Talladega particularly, the racing will scare you to death. You'll have when I came home from my first race, Daytona, back in 2001, I was exhausted. I had a headache. My eyes were burning. My heart had been pounding all day long because of what I was watching before I'd been in it. So I couldn't see the whole field. Now you're going to see the whole field, and it changes it changes everything.
And Jeff, I remember that very first practice session at Daytona Speed Weeks that year. We were up in the booth, we're getting ready to do that practice session, and the car started coming out on pit road, and I went, no, this is not right. I'm not supposed to be up here. I'm supposed to be down there. But the one thing I do remember, you talked about us having fun in those clips, is all the meetings we had leading into 2001, they ran a bunch of different things by us, but three things that I picked up on. You have to tell the story. You have to explain why, and something we have never had a problem with, and you're going to be part of it now, you have to have fun. That's one thing we can never be accused of, is not having fun.
Well, I'm looking forward to being a part of that.
Larry, I always...
Go ahead, DW.
You got to get used to that, too.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Well, we got this delay thing going on. But anyway, one of the things I always like to say, and Jeff, you'll love this, you get a picture and 1,000 words. That's a bonus.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a full 1,000 with the rest of this crew, but I'm looking forward to that aspect that you mentioned, because I thought it was exhausting inside the car, watching my mirror, listening to my spotter, win the pit, how to try to win the race at Daytona, and I think it's actually absolutely going to be just as intense, if not, sounds like maybe even more, up in the booth calling this race.
Well, you're used to Alan Gustafson, Eddie DeHunt, your spotter, and now you're going to have Barry Landis, your producer, Artie Kempner, your director, Pam Miller, your pit producer, Richie Zients every once in a while. Going to be a whole lot of voices to get used to, but you got a little taste of this at Texas when the four of us went in with did the truck race on a live to tape, let's see how this goes kind of thing. How'd it go?
Well, I thought it went pretty well.
Okay.
I didn't hear anything any different from anybody, so I'm hoping that means others thought it went pretty well also. I really enjoyed it. I know that. To me, being able to look at the race from that perspective and have the information that we have, and then have that conversation, and of course for me right now, I'm pretty current with what's happening out there on the track, and so it makes it easy for me to relate to those drivers, and that's what I'm looking forward to this year in the Cup Series, but also trying to maintain that over time, because you can lose a bit of that by being out of the car, but I think DW is a great example of how he's been able to maintain that, keep it interesting, keep it
Larry, you speak of change, and Jeff, I will tell you this. You can put the helmet up. You don't need a helmet or a uniform anymore. You're going to get up Sunday morning. You're not going to the driver's meeting. You're going to put on your coat and tie, and you're going to do like Larry. You're going to put your little brush and your makeup in a little pack, and you're going to head off to the booth. So you don't need some of the things that you've used and had your whole career. You don't need any of those anymore. You're going to have a whole new wardrobe and do a lot of things different. One thing you will or not, I don't think you do, because I don't remember seeing you play golf. You're going to need one of these, you know, because you got a bond, Jeff. You got a bond, and the best place to bond is when we're working. But when we play, what do we do, Larry?
We work hard. We play hard.
Oh, I can definitely play hard.
That's right.
I can't play a lick of golf.
That's okay. Do you know how we keep score? We each start with a dozen balls. Whoever has the most left at the end of the round wins.
Well, if you can't play golf, you'll blend right in with us.
Oh, listen, I can drive a mean golf
Larry.
cart.
you think? Ask Larry. Larry thought the high score won.
I had bowling and golf mixed up.
Yeah.
And finally it dawned on me.
I can compete. I can compete in that game. That one, a lot of bonding here.
Yep.
We're going to spend a lot of time on and off, or in and out of the booth.
That's right.
And I look forward to every second.
As you know, Fox Sports is a family, you know, and has been ever since David Hill founded this part of the network. This all continues today, and some other of our Fox Sports family have a word.
Hey, this is Joe Buck with on Fox and Major League on Fox and golf on Fox and Tiddlywinks on Fox, but not NASCAR on Fox. I'm here to welcome Jeff Gordon to the Fox family. I thought you were already in it. I mean, you just kind of feel like you always were, and it's a great natural fit. Have fun with DW and Mike. Have a ball, just be yourself. It's going to be fun. Welcome to the family.
Congratulations, Jeff. Great career. You were the face for your sport for many, many years, and you did it with great class. Much for you. Retirement, and welcome to the Fox. Senior pal. Congrats.
Welcome to new Fox Sports. Jeff Gordon, congratulations on a Hall of Fame career in your move